Don Corrigan has been a full-time journalism professor at Webster University and editor for the Webster-Kirkwood Times, a situation that gave his students the benefit of learning from a working journalist. He was also an editorial board member for the St. Louis Journalism Review. Don was honored with the Gannett Foundation Award for Environmental Journalism and was named as the College Media Advisor's Lifetime Distinguished College Newspaper Advisor.
Pandemic. We're in a 100-year pandemic. It's done a heck of a lot of damage to our industry, but even worse things to the many people we cover in the news business. COVID-19 has changed so much. It's changed this annual St. Louis Media Hall of Fame event, an event that I've always enjoyed. It's a chance to schmooze, to exchange handshakes, to tell some tall tales, and yes, to knock back a few drinks. We can't do that in 2020, but I want to thank Ken and Dave and Frank and Eric and everyone with the Hall of Fame for knocking themselves out to make this virtual event happen. It's customary for award recipients to thank mentors, colleagues, partners like my friend Dwight Bitterkoffer. If only it were possible to recognize the many people who have passed through the doors of the Webster-Kirkwood Times over 42 years now. What fun we've had, what highs we've enjoyed, and what lows and heartaches we shared. A lot of shared low points for us boomers is losing our parents. I lost my mother a year ago, but I have to smile because Mrs. Corrigan got me into this business. You see, when I was in first grade, she gave me an ink pad and a nice block type set of letters at 24-point type. This gift was not as cool as the birthday gift that my buddy next door, Billy, got. For his birthday, he got a scale model Blue Thunderbird convertible. Can you imagine that? Blue Thunderbird convertible. Billy actually drove his electric car on our street. All the girls and boys in our neighborhoods loved riding with Billy. I was jealous, but I was also concerned about issues like street safety and the impact of income inequality. I made a one-page newspaper from that block type with a screaming headline, all caps, "Billy is a rat." All uppercase. I went up and down the street and sold my scandal sheet for a dime. My mother was mortified. Maybe she was worried about libel too. And Mark Sabelman was not my libel lawyer back then. Mom told me to apologize at every house, give back every dime, retrieve every one of those newspapers. Funny thing though, none of the neighbors gave me back their paper. And they wouldn't give me back the dime. They thanked me and said things like, "Billy's gonna get killed driving that little car in the middle of the street." Or they said, "That 9-year-old has a better car than I do." My first scandal sheet taught me that writing is fun and oh so lucrative. I later became a Belleville News Democrat carrier and collected $1 a week from the neighbors. Let me make a retraction here and add that my friend Billy was not really a R.A.T. rat. Later in high school, he introduced me to Marlboro's, bourbon, and all those interesting articles in Playboy magazine. These things have proved very helpful in journalism. It seems fitting that in this century year of suffragettes and strong women, I should note Mrs. Corrigan and also other good women who have helped the Webster-Kirkwood Times as mentors, as advocates, and as sources. Some celebs have made great feature stories. Women like Phyllis Diller, Charlotte Peters, Marcia Mason, Mary Engelbright, Lori Chalupny, and Isis the Belly Dancer. State Reps Marion Cairns, Emmy McClellan, and Deb Lavender have been so helpful for our stories to explain how the State House in Jefferson City works, or how it doesn't work. Kay Dry, Diane Sheehan, and Deb Wilson, they helped us with some interesting stories on Times Beach dioxin problems and those 3 Mile Island nuke trains rolling through Webster-Kirkwood in the 1980s. Kay Dry inspired me to be a member to this day and to be at the founding of the Society of Environmental Journalists. Some reporters in here may have been in Kay Dry's basement filled with file cabinets full of articles and information about radioactive waste. It's a fun story. Women activists have often been dismissed as gadflies, but a lot of them have helped us out in the newspaper business too. Women like Billy Roberts on MSD and utilities, Yvonne Logan, who helped us on peace and religious issues, Harriet Patton, who was ahead of her times on Black Lives Matter, Teresa McCauley on schools and parents as teachers, and more recently, Becky Morgan and Barb Finch on sensible gun laws. Some of the female mayors in our suburbs with names like Sweet and Tram and Sheffield and Williams and Welch, they've helped arrange for us to cover political candidates who come to town with names like Clinton, Bush, and Romney. Thank you, mayors, I think. Some of these women are long gone, but they always have a place in the Webster-Kirkwood Times newspaper archives. They will always be a part of my personal St. Louis Media Hall of Fame. So thanks, Mom, thanks, ladies, and thanks once again to the St. Louis Media Hall of Fame for this honor that I will cherish.